So today I'm going to talk about something that might be a little controversial because I know that as creatives, us artists take a lot of pride in our ideas and in our originality and our creativity. So this thought process that I'm going to propose might be a little contrary to that line of belief, but for me anyway, once I embraced this line of thinking, it was actually quite liberating. And that is that I actually don't own my ideas. Let me do a little bit of a deep dive and deconstruct this line of thinking. Tell me, has this ever happened to you? You came up with a great idea or a great concept for an artistic piece. In my case, it's dance, either for a troupe piece or as a solo. And so you go and you create that piece and you bring it to fruition and you perform it. And then maybe not so far down the road, you might see someone else or another troupe doing something very similar. And what is your initial reaction? Do you feel like indignant because, oh, I came up with that idea first? Do you feel like, oh, maybe they like stole this idea from me? The feelings that we see when we see something like that happens are often along these lines as creatives, and I think it's because we do take so much pride in our ideas. But how about if we embrace this concept? So I read this book by Elizabeth Gilbert called Big Magic. In this book, she describes ideas as energetic life forms driven by a single impulse, and that is to be made manifest. And how this happens is it needs to find a human partner, and it is through that human's efforts that the ideas are escorted out of the ether and then becomes realized in the realm of the actual. Therefore, ideas spend eternity swirling around us, searching for available and willing human partners. Of course, there's going to be many different humans touched by the same ideas, and then you throw in individual experiences, context, and creativity, and the same idea can be born in very similar and different ways. If that line of thinking is a little too esoteric for you, just bring it down and think about ideas have to come from somewhere. Like, all of us are influenced and shaped and inspired by so many sources that stay with us, that we've picked up throughout the course of our lives. And sometimes they stay with us for years. And then at whatever moment in time, they come to fruition when the time and the availability for manifestation is right. But because we all are all different people, how we express and combine those influences, that will be the part that's unique to ourselves. And then once we create and manifest them, then they're out there and are available to provide inspiration to others. And so the cycle kind of continues on. So let me tell you, once I gave up on that line of like possessive thinking, it became very liberating and actually had a very fun side effect that now when I see other artists doing something similar to something I've done, I actually feel like connected to them, like somehow in a way they are like my people. So let me give a recent example. One of my last pieces was inspired by the Mother Mary, and I did a whole piece in this theme. And at the same show, one of my good dance colleague friends also happened to do a Mary Magdalene piece. I grew up with a pretty strict Catholic upbringing, so the Mother Mary story is one that is very personal to me. She's also my namesake, so I have spent a lot of my life just kind of working on coming to terms with what this means to me, and in more recent years I've been able to look at her in a way that I can align with on a very personal level. So the inspiration for my Mother Mary piece was very personal to me. It's not like we both decided to pick a very trendy or cool character or storyline that we both just wanted to do. It was very personal to me, and so it made it even that more coincidental that she also chose to do something quite so related. And the show wasn't thematic in a way that like led us to these obvious characters to portray. It was purely coincidental, and I was actually quite delighted. And I remember thinking, wow, we are so vibing on the same wavelength right now. And I actually felt a bit of a kinship to her. And this is it. So, in my creative pieces, as well as that of my troupe Invocatress, whenever we present a piece of work, we have our various sources of inspiration or storyline that we want to portray. So, for example, many years ago, we had a divination theme show. And although divination in itself might not be the most original idea, I have seen it done a number of times. The way that we've applied it to our own personal beliefs, experiences, and personalities, that is what makes it unique and where the creativity comes from, instead of getting haughty about maybe another group doing a very similar theme. And even when I say it now, like, it's like, yeah, it's not that original of an idea. You know what I mean? So I think although our egos love to believe that we're innovative and unique and our ideas are all like just poof, like created within us, well, I don't think it takes away from our creativity and our uniqueness, in that the way that we deliver them is that we ourselves are unique individuals. Even though the ideas may be shared amongst many, many people, how we bring them to fruition, that's the part that's unique and shows off our creativity. So take the pressure off, give credit, create, and feel connected to those who may be on the same wavelength as you. Those are your people. You may be vibing together. And I just wanted to clarify, I am not talking about when things are outright copied. That is plagiarism. This actually happened blatantly to me before. I stumbled upon a video on YouTube of another group doing the exact same routine as me and one of my troupe mates. And actually, after the initial indignation, I thought it was kind of hilarious. I may even have commented on their video how flattered I was that they were so inspired by my choreography. So I'm not condoning plagiarism, but I do think that when this does happen, and does happen, it's usually eventually revealed. Like, people know what's up. So just act with integrity yourself. That's all you can do.